Okay, so my name is Laura Kanushu, and I'm the Member of Parliament for People with Disabilities. The appeal I am making today to all persons with disabilities is to encourage them to go out there and fully benefit from the Parish Development Model. We have advocated for 10% within the Parish Development Model. The 10% will be going specifically to persons with disabilities. I know there are people out there who are misleading the public and saying that's very little money, what is it going to do for you? I want to tell you that that money is not little. Go get it. This year you might get less, next year you may get more, the other year you might get more. So make sure you're organized, make sure you tap into this government program. But also, as persons with disabilities, we are one of the first, luckiest groups that we still have our national grant, which you can apply for. It's demand-driven, so if you don't apply for the grant, you can't get it. Please put in your application at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, and I know that so many groups have benefited. For those of you who have not benefited, please do apply for this money. You can still benefit from Emyoga, and you can still benefit from any other government program that has come. Do not sit back and relax. Do not sit back and say we are not able to do this. This money has come to help the most vulnerable people, and I think there are no more vulnerable people than people with disabilities. We are struggling with statistics as a disability movement, but also as legislators, because for you to make sure that you have a good budget, for you to make sure that you convince government to do things, you must have statistics of the people that you represent. Now that's a very big gap within the movement, and I want to appeal to those who are supposed to do that to make sure that we have statistics, but also to the organizations that were here, that please support us to have enough statistics so that we have evidence to convince governments to do for us the things that we want them to do for us. Because without statistics, it is very difficult to convince government to give us the things that we want them to give us. So I want to appeal to all of us, the stakeholders, to make sure that we invest in getting statistics, in collecting data on all the different issues that are affecting us.
Today we are here, we are convening to end an Inclusion Works project. And the Inclusion Works project has been implemented in Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, and Bangladesh with funding from FCDO. It is focused on supporting persons with disabilities to access formal employment. You know, most of us have had this notion that persons with disabilities can only be employed in the informal sector. But this project was aimed at how do we advocate for formal employment of persons with disabilities. This is out of a realization that, first of all, persons with disabilities do not have the requisite skills for getting formal employment, but also for growing their careers in the formal employment. So the project has been working with young people with disabilities to build their skills on how to gain, but also perform and grow in formal employment. We've also been working with employers to make them disability confident, to make the workspaces accessible to persons with disabilities, to have policies that are inclusive, to provide for different forms of accessibility for persons with disabilities, but also to remove the stigma that comes with persons with disabilities in both recruitment, but also in other placements.
My name is Miro Michael. I work as inclusion works consultant, and then also I work to empower persons with disability, make especially grassroots organization. Basically, what I've realized that when we go out for a job, people first look at the impairment, and that's what was happening with me, and not what you are going to deliver. But when I got an opportunity to face the panel, I had to express myself, what they will miss if they don't hire me. And that's how I got the opportunity to get the jobs that I'm working on. However, the confidence within persons with disability when they face the employers or if they go into the labor market is the biggest challenge that also hinders them to get a job. And then secondly is the human resource managers who have limited information and knowledge about how to handle persons with disability, which also disregards so many of them, and then they fail to hire persons with disability.
Ms. Cheptek Betty, I'm the Executive Director, Show Abilities Uganda, an umbrella organization. One of the challenges that I have found in this workshop and actually in this meeting is, of course, identifying or looking for an accessible wheelchair toilet where a person on a wheelchair will only be able to access it and freely use it. When you enter inside, you have to turn yourself around and then lock the door, and then you are able to use the washroom because it has rails on the sides that support persons with disabilities on wheelchairs to help themselves while there.
Can we have a round of applause, a strong one? Another round of applause as we get a photo moment.